Welcome to Inspiring Insurance. Our goal is to provide value to the insurance industry through real-life experiences from insurance professionals who have walked the walk. You can expect to hear story sharing, top tips, and practical advice to help you grow and succeed in your career. We hope you enjoy this episode's guest. Welcome back to Inspiring Insurance. This week we are travelling back down to Melbourne. I'm joined by Jodi Sharman, who has been in the industry for the last 27 years. Thank you for joining me today, Jodi.
Thank you for having me, Nathan.
You're very welcome. Well, Jodi, let's get going. Let's have a deep dive into your experience. Let's start off with, how did you get into the industry 27 years ago?
Okay, yeah. So I was in year 12. I was 18 years of age, and my school was pressuring me to apply for unis because, we were sort of heading towards, completing the end of year 12, and I made a decision that I didn't really want to go to uni and study anything that I felt that was in the uni curriculum. And instead I went to a group training organisation. So there's a group called Apprenticeship Network Australia, and they have 40 or 50 members. And then there's apprenticeships, traineeships, and business types of training that you can do. And I approached that team of people when I was 18, and they had a job in an insurance brokerage that was available. It was under a business cert 2-3, and you could do your insurance degree as well. So I sort of thought I would be paid for work and be working and get some type of training and learn an industry that sounded really exciting to me. So that all came straight out of year 12.
Oh, that's so good. And so you said because I feel like insurance has a bit of an interesting, I don't know, people seem to think that the industry is very, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? A little bit boring, if that a bit way to describe it. But you just said that you thought it would be exciting and interesting to get into. What did you think was going to be exciting and interesting to get into insurance?
So the way that the person sold the role to me was that the insurance broker, Richard, I was going to be working for, it would give me an opportunity to go out with a senior broker and learn about people's risks, see their business and watch them as they grow, and then create risk management solutions for them. So I felt that I wasn't going to just be sitting behind a desk, answering phone calls. It sounded like there was a lot of learning that was going to be involved in seeing different industries, and I really liked that. I thought I was going to meet a lot of different people and learn about lots of different businesses. So that gave me some excitement. You hear the word insurance and people think you're buying a piece of paper, which effectively they are. But the way the brokerage role was sold to me, that it was not just sitting behind a desk, it was going out, meeting people, understanding what their business needs were, and we were basically going to be a part of their business and creating a solution for them if something went wrong. So it just sounded a lot better than the word insurance.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I love that. And so that was when you got out of year 12. Walk us through the journey since that initial role.
So I went and worked for an insurance brokerage for 5 years, and over that 5-year journey I started off as a junior, and I reported into someone for 2 years who was a senior broker of 15 years. He then left to go to another company, and my boss said to me that they thought I was actually right to take that role because in 2 years I'd learnt so much and gone to every appointment with him. So I then was promoted to account manager within 2 years. So at the age of 20, I was running a book of business. I had my own clients. I was writing new business as well. I was traveling a lot. And then I was studying, doing my QPIB, which is what it was called many years ago. So I was studying for 3 years whilst I was at work and doing all of that. And then at the age of 23, I had Marsh approach me and ask me if I wanted to consider being an authorised representative for them. They had a new model that they were starting. And I remember meeting with Travis Kemp, who was the manager, and Rod Seymour at the time, and 20-something years ago now. And they sold me that I would have Marsh, who were the biggest broker in the world. I was be able to say I'm from Marsh, although I had this little business underneath using their buying power and their name, using their policy wordings. But that would open a lot of doors for me. So at the age of 23, I took a jump into zero income because at 23 I was able to do that. I didn't have massive mortgages or anything crazy. I didn't have kids, and I just thought if it didn't work, I could always go back and get a role anywhere else. So after 5 years of broking, I opened up as an authorised rep under the Marsh banner, and I operated in that space and employed 10 staff over that journey. We had in excess of 1,000 clients over the next 19 years. That brought us to 2022. And unfortunately, I had a death in my family. My dad passed away, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I didn't. Yeah, I just sorry. It brings me back to what I went through. But yeah, I really just thought I don't want to be in this high-powered role anymore, and I didn't want to be, the CEO of my own business anymore. I just wanted to be a broker and not have all of the pressures you did as a business owner. So I was very, very lucky that Gallagher approached me. They heard that I was really interested in selling, and I sold to Gallagher in 2022 in the November. And now myself, my staff, all my team, and all my clients are over at Gallagher, and we've been there now for the last 2.5 years. So it's been a great journey.
Yeah, amazing. How good. And so you essentially were your own business owner at the age of 23.
Correct. At 23, I was literally my own boss. I was doing pay slips and paying myself and doing GST and writing business. And if I didn't write business, I didn't get paid. It was hard, but it definitely has paid off. And I think at age 23, you can do 15, 16-hour days, and you can push yourself into that. I wasn't probably going out with my friends as much as, at that age of 23, all my friends were going out every weekend. I wasn't doing that. I was working sort of crazy 70, 80-hour weeks. And over that next 5 years, I built my book. By the age of 28, I'd built to a size that I needed to actually sell part of it back to Marsh. So I sold 3 times back to Marsh in that 19-year journey. Maybe $200,000 of revenue or something like that. So the smaller end stuff I would get rid of. Well, not get rid of. I would move to another account manager within Marsh, and they would service them, and I'd still be there if they ever needed me. But it then freed me up to go and get the bigger accounts. So when I did first start, I would take anything. If I was eating Chinese in your Chinese restaurant, by the end of the night, I was asking who your insurance broker is and could I provide you with an insurance quote. I would do it to fish and chip shops, milk bars, anyone, because for me, if I'm spending money in your business, there was no reason why you couldn't allow me to look at your insurance program. So I'd built the book up, and it didn't matter what size the business was, but as time obviously went on, I obviously wanted to go towards more bigger and corporate sized accounts. So I couldn't do that and maintain 50 small accounts also due in a month.
Yeah, sure. Busy.
Yeah, and I did keep employing staff. As every sort of, I made a rule that every $400,000 I sort of got to, I needed to employ a new person, because I was going out and promising the world to my clients, and obviously I can't do it all by myself. So as we grew, my first member, my first staff member came on, and she's just completed 18 years with us. So, the staff have been with us long journey. Another one's just completed 15, and another one that's just done 10 years with me. So they're over with me at Gallagher now. But again, they were on that journey with me and have been with me for a long time. But it was a promise that I was committing to clients on service levels, response times for certificates, 2 hours, the turnaround time of what I was promising as a small business, because that's basically what I was under the Marsh banner. As a small business, I had to differentiate myself from other brokers out there, and that's what I did. So.
Yeah, amazing. Good on you. And you made a really interesting point there. So you've had someone who's just been with you for 18 years, another person that's been with you for 10 years. That's incredible tenure, regardless of who they're with, just in general, that's incredible tenure. Something that I find common in the industry is that retention piece. How have you done that? What do you put that down to?
Okay, so one of the biggest things my dad said to me when we were young and growing up, he said to me, if you have good staff, you look after them. If you have to pay them $10,000 or $20,000 above the pay rate out there, and they run your business and they keep it successful, and you can sleep at night because you'll know it's in good hands, you pay that money. So what I effectively think I did was probably overpaid staff and made sure that I would do that, because it's a bit different to now where people are getting crazy money, I'm hearing out there at the moment in the industry. But, when someone was, I know one of the girls I hired was on 50 and was able to put her on 90 very quickly, a $40,000 pay rise, I know she's locked in and she's not going anywhere. There was just no way known that people could compete with that this is sort of 17, 18 years ago, and obviously they're on a lot more money now, but they just couldn't compete with that. So for me, it was investing in my staff, making it a good workplace. So, we did lots of fun things. I would rent helicopters out at Christmas time and we would go to wineries. I could do that because I didn't have hundreds of staff. But, there might have been 20 of us doing that because we would take 10 underwriters and 10 of us. We would do winery bus tours once a year. We would do a day spa in every July. 30th of June is ridiculously crazy in our industry. So, in July, that second week after we had sort of cleaned up and were able to calm down and breathe again after, again, working crazy hours in June to get everything done, I'd take them to Crown Casino. We'd have a massage, a spa, and a lunch at Rockpool. So for me, I was investing back into the people that were responsible for making my business be successful. And I really think that is a key that people miss in business.
Yeah, sure. No, I love that. And obviously it's there's proof in the pudding right there. 18 years, 10 years, like that's incredible.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about your role now. So you're now corporate manager at Gallagher. What do you do?
So since moving over to Gallagher, my team's moved over. We sit within the corporate Victoria team in Gallagher in the East Melbourne branch. So we've joined the rest of the 50 people in the corporate area there. We basically do the exact same thing that we do today. So nothing's really changed except for we're now using the Gallagher wordings, the Gallagher power. And yeah, nothing much has changed at all. I don't feel like the clients probably felt anything. The day we opened up, our laptops, everything was there, had been brought over, obviously, from Marsh. So there was no downtime for the clients. We finished at Marsh on a Friday, we opened up on the Monday. In my new role, I have just in the last month stepped back, and Placid within my team, who was a New Zealand recruit from our Gallagher office about 18 months ago, he has stepped into my role as the corporate manager in Victoria, and I'm now stepping into a little bit more of a different role where I'm going to be national sales for Australia and still chair my top 10 accounts. I've got some key accounts that have been with me over 21 years. So those accounts, I've watched those businesses grow dramatically. They started with one shop and they're in excess of 400 shops now, and they've gone from a turnover of 2 million to 800 million. So watching the journey of those clients has been unbelievable, and I still will continue to chair those key accounts in my new role. But for me, it's about helping others grow within Gallagher as well. Now I do a lot of one-on-ones. I've got about 5 or 6 people that I work with about their career path. I even talk to my own staff about their career paths, and do they want to become a senior manager, or are they happy doing what they're doing? I think that's the biggest thing in life, that sometimes we get so busy we forget about where is our journey and where do we see ourselves. So even I personally work on a 5-year plan. Like I've created from 18 to now at 40, I'm about to turn 45, and I still have a plan at what I want to do in the next 5 years and where I want to see myself. So I try and encourage a lot of people to do that and to talk to their managers about how do I get to that spot. Like it may not be an instant change, but it might be, okay, in the next 2 years, I want to be in this position. How do I get to that position? What type of courses do I need to do? What do I need to do in my work to change to help me get to that position? Or, I have had one of my staff members that have been with me for a long time say, I really loved the journey that I've had in insurance broking, and I don't actually want to be a broker anymore. I really loved the acquisition piece when we moved over. She was a part of that. She's now moved into Gallagher acquisition space. So when Gallagher's purchasing companies, she's a part of getting the data, getting it in the systems, meeting with them and doing all of that. So, the good thing about my move and choosing to go to Gallagher is that they're not set at doing the current roles that they're doing, and they don't have to stay doing what they're doing if they want to challenge themselves to do something different. And that, that all happened in an 8-week space, that we were able to get someone for her, get her trained up and moved into another team. And she'd been with us for 17 years.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just great. About, I feel, making everyone's journey, making everyone feel important, but there are so many roles that are available. Insurance broking may not just be one, and I'm not going to be an account manager anymore. I'm going into a sales role, complete different from what I've been doing with servicing. But I do love that sales piece. I love, you can see when I said when I was 18, the job attracted me because I was going out and meeting new clients to bring in new business, to learn about their business, to try and educate them on, protecting that asset. If something goes wrong, they want to know that piece of paper that they've purchased is going to actually respond. And that's what I feel I do well, and I actually thrive on, and I like to do. Hence why I'm going into that more sales pitched role.
Yeah, wow. And it's so true. There's so many different avenues you can go down once you get into the industry. You can really kind of pick and choose where you think your strengths are, where your interests are, and you can end up doing that, for your whole career. So that's really, really cool. Something you mentioned to me before we jumped on this recording is that you're quite passionate about bringing in new people to the industry to help kind of spark that career. Where does that passion come from?
I think people don't understand what insurance, they hear insurance broking and they think it's, you said it before, they think it's boring. They're like, oh, that sounds horrible. So a few years ago, I decided to create a $200 pull-up banner. And on that banner, I had photos of my journey in the industry. And it had photos of me on a yacht in Hawaii with a client at a conference. And then it had photos of me in Thailand. It had photos of me doing surveys. I was dressed in full white gear, boots, hair nets, because I was in a cooking facility. And then I had a story. It said, insurance is not boring. It was literally my heading on the sign. And it had all these photos of everything I've done in my 18-year career. And it attracted people because they were like, insurance broking, that doesn't sound like what you're doing. You're sipping, I had champagne in my hand on a yacht on the other side of the world. Which is a massive thing that we do in our industry. We have conferences, our clients have conferences, our suppliers have conferences, our industry has conferences. NEBA has a conference every year. So these are some of the things that I've been grateful for attending, and I feel is really important in our career and our growth. So showing that to younger people was important. So I now, I've been doing it for about, well, maybe it's more longer. It was before COVID. So it may be 7 or 8 years now. And so I've been going into schools and their career evenings and promoting what I do. And then I get the insurers like the Chubbs, Allianz, QBE, Vero, and they give me all their fun goodies that they give out to us as brokers. And I fill my table up with freebies. And then I created a one-page A4 back and front. And I got myself to write just a top half page, a little bit about my career. I had Anita Lane write about her career. She owned Solution Underwriting. She's now the managing director after selling it to CFC. So I got her to write her story about being an underwriter. And then I got someone in the claims team to write about being a claims manager. So I was trying to show that it's not just broking, there's underwriting, and the bit of paper had all the different avenues. It's got point forms on all the different things you can do, from insurance assessing to claims management. The industry employs so many people. So that then is picked up by the kids and their parents, year 10, 11, 12, as they're walking around. From that, I then have got into then taking them on as apprentices and train as apprenticeships. So, sorry, not apprenticeships. I think they're called school-based internships or something like that. They do a 1 or 2 week period during their year 10 career. So I tend to take on 4 or 5 kids a year for that. And they literally follow me for a week. So they come into Gallagher office, they get in my car, they'll come on site. We'll go out to a chocolate manufacturing plant. We'll go and see another customer, and they see what I do on a daily basis. We then give them a day with an underwriter, a little, so they can see what underwriters are doing. I really try and open up their eyes to insurance broking. And then when they finish school, and if they don't want to go to uni, or they want to go to uni, they can come back when they're 22, 23. We've had a lot of them do that, and they're working now at Gallagher. So I'm just really passionate about getting young people into it, because I know at my age, I love it. My kids love what I do. They get to come on some, we just got back from the States, because Gallagher has an event called Power of Gallagher in Vegas. And, to get an invitation to that was amazing. But I was lucky enough that I was able to bring my kids and my husband, and, they got to see America. So again, it's just, and this is all from working as an insurance broker and working in this industry. So I'm passionate about it. I try and promote it on my socials, on my LinkedIn, on my other private pages that I have. And then a couple of years ago, being a part of the NEBA, being on the Victorian committee there, they've created what's called another committee, and Cameron runs that. He's from Lockton. So again, we're all competitors, remember this. We all sit on committees and we are all about promoting getting young, enthusiastic people into our industry, because we know that the age group of people that are in our industry is eventually going to retire, and we need young, enthusiastic people to come and rise and be a part of this industry. So we're a part of a group called Insure Your Future. And in that, it's 12 people that meet monthly and do different things around insurance, including, so exactly what I just talked about. Now across Australia, we're rolling out uni days, we're rolling out school events, exactly what I was sort of doing it's a NEBA badged, more professional way. They've got their own brochures. And again, it's just about all the insurance broking houses have signed up to it. So you can actually, learn and go and do a quick placement and understand, see if this is actually going to be right for you. And again, everybody's on board. And again, we're all competitors, we're all against each other in tenders, but it's amazing how we all know we need people in this industry and we need to attract them. So together we do that. And it's great. We get together monthly and it's just a great bunch of people trying to help others.
Yeah, it's a really, really great initiative, because you're so right. There's the aging workforce, and at some point we need that backfill to have new and upcoming vibrant people in the industry. So I completely agree. What would you say to someone who might have a friend, a family member, they're not sure what they want to do in their career, or they're just coming out of school? How could you educate those people to have that conversation with people that they might know about joining the industry?
Yeah, so look, I'm happy for anyone to reach out to me. I would have probably 30 people a year come to me via my LinkedIn. They're like, I've seen your posts, and I will, I will talk to some of them. Some of them I'll refer to other people if it's a busy period, I'm away traveling or something like that. But we've got a whole team of people within this Insure Your Future group that are willing to talk to people and catch up for a coffee with them and try and talk to them about what we do as insurance brokers, or we've even got insurers that are a part of it. So, that's a complete different avenue. So it's about, I feel like, connecting on a platform. I think LinkedIn's probably the best platform for people to reach out, because it's an open platform. Anyone can go onto LinkedIn and look us up. But if you added myself on the profile and just send a message to in my inbox, I will respond to every message that comes through. So yeah, we would definitely be able to have a conversation with them and give them some guidance.
Yeah, amazing. And on the flip side of that question, what would your advice be to those people entering the industry? How can they set themselves up for success from day one?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to listen, to write down, have a book and write down everything you're learning. So you can go back over your notes, because it is especially if you're coming straight out of school and you're coming into an industry you've never worked in. I felt that it was a little bit overwhelming. I was learning a lot. So I think having a notebook with all my notes in it, I was able to sort of rely back on that for the next 12 months. After 12 months, you won't need it, because you'll have it down pat, but you do learn a lot. There's system trainings, there's invoice training, there's certificate of currency training, how to lodge claims. There is so much that you could sort of learn within that 3 to 4 month period. I feel it could be overwhelming. So I would say take it all in. Every single insurance brokerage out there does training, internal training. Insurers come in and talk about products. If you get invited to it, you attend it. I would say to anything and everything you get an opportunity to go to it. This year, NEBA had their convention in May, and it was at the convention centre, and there was 1,000 people. It's a free event, it's open, and there's 150 underwriting agencies in there. So if you are in the industry and, you can, I would speak to your managers about, even a 2 or 3 hour, you leave past that day to go to that event, walking around, talking to people, finding out what products are available out there, what they offer. You're creating solutions for your clients internally. You might be able to find a solution at that underwriting event. You might hear that someone's got an asbestos risk, that they didn't know how to place that within your company where you're working. And you could say, hey, I was at NEBA and I met these underwriting agencies and this is what they do, because I grabbed their pamphlet. Because I still do that after 20 something years of being in the industry. Walk the room and see what everyone's up to and what they can do, because you never know when you're going to have a client come to you with a need that room will be able to fix it. Your streamline insurers cannot do some of these risks. So I feel like be like a sponge, take it all in, and learn as much as you can.
So good, so good. Such good advice. You can just see how passionate you are about this industry, and obviously it's given you a very, very successful career, and you've been able to do a lot of amazing things. Like, who gets to take their family to the US for work? That's pretty cool. Oh, well, Jodi, thank you so much for jumping on and being a guest with me today. I think this has been a really, really great chat. So really, really looking forward to, I think you've got a little bit of time off now. So we'll be back on later in the year. Looking forward to seeing all the initiatives with Insure Your Future and yeah, the rest of your career with Gallagher. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.